Um, Kimu. I'm Benjie. I am at Tboli, coming from the southern part of the Philippines, part of Mindanao. So it is my first time to be here. So I feel nervous actually. Next.
Do you have the
Laptop. Pwede ma-search. So, flash drive.
download it? Sorry. Where is it? I thought I
So, flash
downloaded
drive.
it. Sorry.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah. I am the man behind the film. This is Go Not Tumutol, a story of repatriation. And I think it keeps me waiting. Joke only.
Sorry. Where it went? Sige lang, continue.
While waiting,
Yes,
can
please.
we ask,
Sige, sige.
what kind of a necklace is that?
Which one?
Stay there, stay.
Oh, the hanging.
The bone?
Oh, actually, first, I'd like to show this to you. This is called kamagi. I think it is made of rose gold and beads that pass through generations. So grandmother has to collect a few pieces of beads until it passed to the daughter, to the grandchildren, and so on, until they completed the whole set. So it's another one is made of wild boar tusk. Yeah, we usually called it. It is bulong busaw. It is like something that could prevent bad spirits. So it is usually something is very. I guess I got my goosebumps already. So. Yeah. My topic today is all about Ugus Kimu. That's something different. That's our own native word, and that's very sacred to us because our language defines us. It has to be something to be used in this kind of conference. Well, let me proceed. The Tboli, there are so much written about us, and some of which are controversial. That's according to Marian Pastor Roses, and because it's the perspective of outsiders, and usually it's not coming from within the community. So, especially if that material is not validated and does not pass through the usual community approval. And that is my be. Be means grandmother. That's my grandmother. He said that was taken sometime in 1975 because they wrote at the back of that photo and that given to me. So her name is Beye Adam because for us we are usually called according to our firstborn child. So that's why she is Ye Adam, but her real name is Gambin Ufung Muntil. So, and if you can see, the tradition has been there already. The process that shows in the picture is called tambong. That means connecting fibers one after the other, end to end. Okay, and from there, I grew with a family of weavers. My mom is a weaver. Actually, this is done by my mom. And almost when I get to school, that's our way of living at the same time, as that makes us, overcome everything, our everyday life struggles. If there's a lot of presentations mentioning about Langdulay, and there she is, and her profound ikat, which I don't know where it is now, and even I don't know if I don't document that before she died, nothing left in the community. So she's one of first Tboli awarded as National Living Treasure in 1998. So I usually went to Langdulay because there are so many buyers who were interested in her work. So most of them asked me to facilitate. So, but I haven't even one panel of her work, and I regret it a lot that sana maybe I would have one of her work so that it could be shown to the rest of us in the community. And the new one that I usually visited actually is the new National Living Treasure awardee also, just last year, Barbara Ofong. She's my be also, because we are Ofong clan, so it happened to be my be, my grandmother. We are close relative. So in 2022, I worked with her because there were textile acquired by a certain individual, which they want to trace, and tried to interview Barbara if what will be her perspective and maybe message for that Kimu. And it is actually in one of the prestigious museum in the Philippines, and that work actually on permanent exhibition in that museum right now. And this is the scene in our school. Our school is the Tboli Senior High School. It happened to be I am the school head since it was started in 2015. It was a joint undertaking of the Department of Education and Ateneo de Davao through Brother Armin and Father Tabora. So the school is focusing on culture-based education and indigenous people's education program in the country. And the school is the first and the only standalone indigenous people's education program in the Philippines so far. And Tanalak weaving is one of our curriculum, specialized curriculum. And aside from that, we also have brass casting, embroidery, wood carving, beading, and of course, the contextualization of key major subject areas to be more appropriate in the context of the community. So, and my question is, how would we, sustain that process? The elders, we tap them as the resource persons in school. They came to school and facilitate the learning process. And the context of that program is that the entire community, the entire ancestral domain is a classroom. So aside from the regular classroom that we have. And aside from that, as again, I would like to mention her also. Mom Marian, Pastor Roses said that there are almost 30 weaving centers in Lake Cebu. That's true. And even more because hundreds of weavers are still there weaving in their homes. Not just the established weaving centers. And this is, I capture sometime in our Gono Kimu, which I built for my mom so that she could weave, of course, with the support of Mama Marian and a friend of her, Mama Marlene Po, to establish the structure before the pandemic. And this is Jovelyn, one of our senior high school students, with her grandmother Lisa, working together for that piece. No? And the piece is still there with us. No? Here is this. No? That's Kimu, which they wove a kind of relationship between a grandmother and a granddaughter that emanates a stunning textile that really, caught my attention actually. And of course, I am there, telling that. It was just a normal selfies and photographs with these personalities. No? Langdulay actually is one of my favorite practitioner and culture bearer in the community. And of course, we have here Bundus Farah, a brasscaster, Barbara Ofong, and Rosie Sula for oral tradition, the newly awarded National Living Treasures in 2023. So if you talk about Tboli, so you just show them a single photo and they will recognize you. Show them a Tenalak and they will say, that's Tboli. Show them a craft, an embroidered blouse, and they will define you. And there's so much more that defines our culture and tradition in Lake Cebu. I have a question, and when I talk to them, this is sometimes surface question, and it is stated in the body. No ansalo din yung tanalak na dumuki mo Tboli. Where does this tanalak and the object goes? And I have seen so much in museums based on the presentations today and yesterday. And I am so saddened as an indigenous people that most of these are not in our homeland and in museums. They say it goes to the market and stores, to the collectors, to designers, to the tourist who loves them, to galleries and museums, gifts and tokens for academic research, and many more. And basically, it's gone because of our basic need for common survival. We want to survive. That's why many of these left our motherland. And you might know what it is now, I guess. Now, here comes the story of repatriation. Yung kulek ng Kimu, the return of objects. Even in my dream, I never imagined this. This is one of the best things that ever happened to me and my community. The return of objects. And it was last April 17, 2023, where Boifak, she acquired her name given by the committee to her as Lady Frog. Ma'am Lynn Bilson, and now Ma'am Billy Riley and Dr. Givarcy Hamilton, which is materialized through the effort of SOAS, through the leadership of Dr. Christina Wan, in collaboration with Ma'am Marian, Enforcer Juby, and many more. And these individuals were part of overseas, what's that? VSO, Volunteer Service Overseas, in the late 70s. And these objects actually very meant to us, very meant to the Tboli people. And in this scenario, we really witness how Tboli people love those people who truly care for them. Because most of it, according to Boifak, was given to her as a gift, was given to her as a present. And of course, she's honest that she bought some of it, in good faith. And of course, it really sets such a magical experience that these people would think of returning this object to where they are supposed to be. And during the turnover, she said that, Billy Riley said that the spirits and ancestors summoned me to return this Kimu home. And she did it, actually. These are the objects between being turned over to the community. Lots of them. And these objects usually talasuhad, that when a child born, when they cut its umbilical cord, they would find an object to replace it when a child detached from its mother. And most of that object would be like that. And we believe that it might go that way. That's why it finds its way home. And we believe that these objects have spirits in them. So lots of photos, right? After the turnover, Boifak spent 10 days just to go around the community and meet people around and trying to figure out where she was. And it really amazed these people in this presentation. The picture of their mother, picture of your brother and sister, picture of themselves, and they recall those memories that Boifak serving them in the 70s. And it was amazing, right? It's amazing. There are lots of tears, a lot of hugs, a lot of laughters, and a lot of memories coming back, actually. Here it is. And even she was invited into a celebration, and she was given dance, music, chants, and everything that she deserved. Now, what does Ugus Kimu mean to us? Ugus Kimu is spirit that goes with any Kimu, Kimuta, like Kamagi, like Blogo, Betel Nut Box, Buyu, Spear, Hanak, Arrow, Tanalak, and Yek Kumu and Gongs, etc. Ugus is sacredness attached to all Kimu or Tboli objects. The reason why Tboli people buy Kimu at priority rate because it calls for another Kimu or objects. We call it Tamaba Ani Badingde. It calls for other objects to come in to multiply. Ugus Kimu calls for the rest, attracts them. There is always a way to call for other Kimu. One may only realize when acquired. As much as possible, the Tbolis prefer to keep every Kimu rather than to sell them because it is an assured protection for their family. This Kumu here and other repatriated objects are Ugus Kimu, for they are sacred and embodies the Fu or spirits and ancestors. And this Kumu is actually in our front today. It's here. It went back from Lake Cebu back to England. And back again to Lake Cebu on Monday, I guess, hopefully. Because it has to reunite with the person who cares for it, who keep it for 46 years. Diba? So that's amazing, actually. And she keep it for us. Others have been left the community, but Baifak comes back and returns his precious things to us. After that, many things happen. The community surrendered their belongings when their member of the family, died. And here comes an American friend, a researcher, a collector, Sir Craig Diamond, turned over a necklace, 100-year-old brass necklace. He let brass or belt and photos and photographs. And accidentally, some of the photos are photo of Mablin Bilson. And I brought that along. And last Sunday, I and Sir Joby went to Medbili North. We traveled for more than 4 hours north just to do what Mambili did when she returned the objects home. What feelings, the feelings of my people when she did that, same true. And she was fascinated that she saw her photos in the 1970s. And it should be that way. So, aside from Sir Craig, Bohon Hanak, Bonaro, Clowit, and Buyus or Spears from Sir Johnny Sumugat. He is a retired regional DepEd Region 12 education supervisor. And he said, Duata malakda udini. God guide me in this path to return these objects. This represents the life of the Tbolis in the past and their ways of life. it is life itself. So he was a missionary also in Santa Cruz Mission, like by fact, but he comes in the 80s. So and one of the audience has actually expressed her interest of returning one of her, actually, and I'm please stand po. Please pay returning something to us. And that is really amazing. Yeah, that's you. Let's clap for mom, please. Thank you so much. Taybang salamat. Whew. And look what happened after the repatriation. Weavers come in, visiting the objects, and gets inspiration from it. It actually inspires people, inspires the weavers, that something is there guiding them in the process. No, miufong, look at that. No, the way they look at it is really, it really makes you goosebumps. And out of that engagement, Kalahim Tinggal, Adnina Tinggal, with my daughter, actually, showcasing the Kimu that they have done, and actually with us today. The Kimu is actually here. It must be like that. It must be keeps going. The threads, the rough, has to reconnect. There has been a gap. It has been cut down, but it reconnects for the tradition to move on, to move forward. Sorry po, I got some kind of another one. Besan Duinalon has finished 2 Kimu. Not just one, but 2. I brought with me one there. Yeah. And this one actually, where is it? Yeah, at the left side. Actually, it's so long. It's, I think, 8 meters. So I just brought it here. So who actually look at that Yuji Kimu there, and I never imagined these things happen. Actually, I never imagined this. And with that, she's still working on another tinalak. And this is how it is being polished. We call the process sumaki. That, and I usually do that to have balon or allowance for school. That's why I'm, my muscles are good. Yeah. And she even create a one panel, not like the 3 panels. She called that Kumu Demoy, that represents the tradition of Tbolis of polygamy. That the man is at the center, at the left side, and the brides and the wives at her side. So the tradition can be transmitted in one single piece, and it tells the whole story. So with this engagement, I asked Be Sanduy, mo ang tanalak ka mafulo. Sorry for that again. Mo ang tanalak kamufulo. Why tanalak is valuable? So, she replied with an epic story of Tboli, our legendary hero, that somehow lost in the memories, that only be chant during festivals and wedding ceremonies. And she narrated that during the Kastifun gathering, it was Lodi Gabay Gotunlan Lutoy Fubulol, a mountain spirit who played sambakong or gongs that resembles weaving in ganba. So ito sana yung this I supposed to reply on the question, no, that where or how the weaving started, so that the Tboli knows how it begins through their oral traditions. It actually embedded in the stories, in the narratives, in epic and in myths. So this ganba is a sort of bamboo where the loom is set, and the sound of lumubag. This is when you flatten the tanalak before you polish it. No? And the way Gabay plant, no, do her planting. So when Tboli heard this music or sound, he woke up from klabo. That's a Maranao canopy, parang just like mosquito net. No? And tells his 8 sisters that the lady who plays is a woman that appears in his dreams. So marrying her would make him great, live prosperously, and would have long life and become immortal. So Besan Doninaloy affirmed, ni sunoon mabot mawal. This is the origin of tanalak weaving. Malan ba fu lutoy, or a gift from the spirit or the mountain, guardian of mountain. So it's actually gift, no, from the above, no, from someone who is very spiritual. So when it is taken away, that connection will end, I'm sure. So when it comes back, they reconnect again. It's something very magical happening here, actually. And to sum up it, actually, so another object coming from Australia, received by Mirna Pula. So according to her, is that Ugus Kimu or Tulus Kimu is something that is very precious and sacred. And that's what we believe, and people should understand that. Bang salamat. Thank you so much.